don't think that he's good for you.
How do you know what's good for me?
That's my opinion!
Don't you get it? Why can't anybody have an opinion but you?
That I don't think that he's good. That I
Morning. Hello. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining Sandra P's Gen Extra. Thank you so much for joining Sandra P's Gen Extra. And we are here for a live Married to Medicine review. This is the show actually aired last night. It was a good one. And especially since we know that it's going to be 2 episodes, which is really all they need. It's been a long time since any of the franchises, honestly, in my opinion, has needed a 3-episode reunion, period. Andy's just been stretching it out and he's heard us. We don't need the 3 review. We do not. So I am excited to begin with this. Thank you so much, Mama Beast, for coming in during the live. Mama Beast is one of the moderators. I appreciate you so much when you make time to come in during the live. Thank you so much. Anyone else that is able to come in, I thank you as well. It means a lot to the channel as a growing channel to be in there during the live, liking the video, engaging in the comments. It helps keep me active in the algorithm and attracts others to the channel. So I appreciate you so much on Sandra P's Gen Extra. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Welcome, Sharon Gobble. Thank you for coming in. Thank you so much for joining me for the live. This is Monday morning. Monday. I hope everyone's going to have a great day and a great, positive, peaceful, calm week. Thank you so much. Sharon came in and spoke to myself and also to Mama Bees. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming in. So I actually have to, my workaround is I'm going to put the notes on a couple different places so I can see what's best as far as I go through them and just remember certain things. And then we'll follow along with this review. Okay, thank you so much, everybody, again. So we will start out, as they always do, with the ladies arriving. We have Contessa showing up first. Again, this is New York. It's cold. And so we get to see them in their winter coats, the hats. Contessa's cute. Contessa has on white and her rabbit fur earmuffs. So she's real cute. She shows up. Quad and Angel show up together. Honey, they got the furs on. Quad has the big, dark Diana Ross shades and her puffy mink. So come through, Quad. You know how Quad is. Heavenly looks cute. She just got on one of her bubble coats. Dr. Simone, the same, just to kind of keep the wind away, as my mom used to say. Brandy, can't anybody tell Brandy anything? I'm going to have to show y'all Brandy. Brandy, and this is the scene that we'll go through this scene. Look how Brandy looking at Dr. Contessa. Yay, she got my cloak of immunity. She doesn't really need it because Brandy was not afraid of these women, okay? Dr. Contessa, she'll use the phrase, it was a miscalculation. It was a miscalculation. You thought you were going to try our girl because she was a rookie, because she was new, and she held her own, as well as Angel. Angel is the other rookie. So we'll go over all of that. Right now, we're still at the arrivals. Everybody looked cute as they came in. Andy goes to speak to the women. Andy, Married to Medicine, they're doing really good for you, for Bravo, for Peacock, for NBC Universal. Married to Medicine is tried and true. Y'all can thank Mariah Huck for bringing you this idea. Thank her for casting most of these ladies as far as the OGs. She cast Toya. She cast Quad. She cast Heavenly, but y'all didn't want her. You remember that, Dr. Heavenly? She cast Heavenly, but y'all didn't want her. She helped Heavenly get it together, get in shape, brought her on. Again, I like to start at the beginning, not the middle. So I'm always going to mention the creator on this channel, Mariah Huck. But Andy, you should be sending flowers to this lady every year, even though she's still getting paid. You need to send flowers to her every year. The finds that she found for this cast have been amazing, even the ones that I don't care for. Dr. Jackie, I still don't care for Dr. Jackie. Dr. Simone brought her in. That was Dr. Jackie's friend. Dr. Jackie, in my opinion, has always felt a little left out about that. We know she's a mean girl, now a mean older lady. We've watched her mature into that. And we're going to see some of that from Dr. Jackie on this episode. So I was speaking about the arrivals. Andy going around to the rooms. Everyone speaking to each other. Hello, welcome in Kiwan JTV. This is another one of my fellow content creators. It is good to see you. Thank you for joining the live. If you're not already at Kiwan JTV, please go over there and subscribe. And also watch when you have time. I like to listen to the videos. We want Google to part with as much of that Google money toward young Black creators as they can. That includes myself. Yes, Dr. Jackie, we're not going to age shame, okay? So we're going to all fall in that category. We want some of that Google money. So the subscribers that I have, I appreciate it. And we can help each other do that. It means a lot. It really does. Mama Bees is speaking to Kiwan J. Dr. Jackie has snake behavior, Mama Bees. A leopard doesn't change its spots, and a snake can shed its scales, but I hear they come back. If you don't kill the snake, they come back. So Dr. Jackie is, Andy saying, Jackie, you're supposed to be in the room with your friend. Here's Dr. Jackie, mimicking emotion. I'm sad. And then doing the face. You know how when little kids first learn to manipulate and they say, well, if I'm sad, this is what I'll do. That's Dr. Jackie. This is a woman. I can't diagnose anyone, but her emotions don't seem real. They seem based on what she thinks she should do in that situation. There's a word for that. Dr. Mimi would know, but she won't call it out. There's a word for that. And I'm very wary of people like Dr. Jackie. I don't take away her hustle, her knowledge, her success, all of the things she has done in her life. I don't care for Dr. Jackie. I'm with Mama Bees. I see the snake-like behavior. We go into Dr. Simone's room. Andy says, you're supposed to be in there with your friend, Jackie. This is the first time in 5 years someone doing Simone makeup. This is the first time in 5 years you and Dr. Jackie haven't roomed together. Dr. Simone said, I needed something from Jackie. She could not deliver, and it's just not going to happen. The other time, 5 years ago, when they had stopped being friends, everybody, Dr. Heavenly was in the center of that as well. All of this is going to come up, but I have to give you the backstory. I do. Thank you. And yes, we can. Yes, Kiwan J. And Google, I think they'll do it. I know that they're doing it. So if they can do it for others, they can do it for us. We're going to name it and claim it like the Clark sisters. Dear Yvette, welcome in. Thank you so much for coming in during the live. Tony, I want to add another Tony, but I won't. Tony Part 2. Good morning. Good morning to you. Thank you for joining us during the live. Mama Bees is speaking to everyone as they come in. Here is another moderator, Cece. Thank you so much for joining me during the live. Cece is going to do 4 or 5 different things during this live, as is Mama Bees. They are expert multitaskers, but I appreciate them. Speaking to everyone, Sharon's returning to speaking, and we're all saying good morning. And Andy is saying hello, good morning, and welcoming everybody. It appears to be early morning in New York, cold. The fabulous ones have the furs, which is Quad and Angel. Everybody else is coming in with their little winter coats. And then my girl Brandy has on a red leather. Brandy, where'd you get them big shoulder pads? Come on, Brandy. This was like the 80s. Brandy, you don't know anything about that, but I thought it was cute. Everybody looks cute. JJ, welcome in. Thank you so much for joining the Married to Medicine Live. It is good to see you join the live. Yes, I didn't watch the episode. Thanks for the live. Tony, this is probably as good as it's been in a while. And now we know there are only going to be 2 episodes. So they chocked a lot of information into the first one, starting from the arrivals. Andy's still in the room now telling Dr. Simone, we need to fix this. You need to be in there with Jackie. And Dr. Simone is saying, I don't know if we can fix this. I needed something from Jackie. She couldn't deliver. And I agree with Dr. Simone. Dr. Jackie, to me, is just not a friend. Sometimes you can stay on that fence to the point where you don't stand for anything. I think Simone mentioned that. You know, at one point there's right or wrong. And then if you don't choose, you're choosing wrong, to me. So that's what Jackie's doing. They get out, everybody sits around. And this is the Met Gala, which takes place in New York. And I think it's during New York Fashion Week, but it's by Anna Wintour's. Vogue puts it on. And I think Tracy Ellis Ross is one of the board, but it's fabulous, all of this. Met Gala is based on that. Also based on Dr. Jackie telling Buffy before a room full of people, Buffy, you are infertile. And based on getting caught lying on Black women about being in pain while they're carrying their children and trying to get written out of work. I'm going to always stick it to Dr. Jackie with that, because she did do that. And y'all, I don't believe this Med Gala started from a good place. And that's why they've had so many problems. This year in particular, this is going to come up as well. They gave it to Toya, made her the chair, in order to either embarrass her, humiliate her, have it fail, or as Dr. Jackie told Dr. Heavenly, teach her a lesson. Dr. Jackie lied immediately. Remember at the photo shoot, I didn't say that, and Dr. Heavenly said, yes, you did. Cracks in the friendship, because Dr. Jackie, you did say that. But she's a known liar. We've seen her lie before with a straight face. I'm sad. I don't think she's sad. I think she's upset that Simone just won't constantly continue to forgive her. Simone also told Andy, you saved me from divorce one time, but I don't think you'll be able to fix this. And I agree. Y'all, what I'm going to do, we're going to go through the review and then I will read comments. I'll try not to miss anything. If I do, you can put it back in. But I noticed I watch again, just for my sound, the lighting, and just for tips to myself. And there are times when I do miss a comment, and I apologize. I do not do that. I want to read every comment, and I also want to get through the review. So thank you for growing with me as a channel that is a growing channel. Welcome in. This is one of my friends, one of the moderators, Angela A., one of my traveling, sisterhood of the traveling pants. But Angela is also a very, very busy professional, and I appreciate her coming in. The same as Cece, the same as Mama Bees. All of my moderators have 4 things going on, and they still make time, and I love that. Thank you so much. Dear Yvette says, Heavenly is the biggest snake. Jackie lost a very good friend. Dear Yvette, I mean, I can't trust Dr. Jackie's judgment. You're going to lose the likes of a Dr. Simone for someone like Dr. Heavenly, who doesn't know how to be a friend. I feel a little sorry for Dr. Heavenly. Welcome in, Linda Gamble. Linda Gamble is one of the moderators. She's moderator extraordinaire. Linda Gamble is someone you will see in the YouTube streets. So I appreciate when she comes in. And she's speaking to everyone. Everyone's speaking and honoring her. You sound great. Okay, thank you so much. I have a mic. I don't have it on because my computer, I have a Mac Air. The mic is really good. Sometimes I hear myself like banging around, so I have to make sure not to touch the table. But thank you. Everyone's speaking to each other. Y'all, we are still at the Andy greetings. He brings everybody out. I was explaining the set. It's the Met Gala and the Med Gala. So this Med Gala, Jackie, you've cursed this gala. You always breaking into a prayer, which I don't believe. Pray over this Med Gala and your intentions. Sage everything. And I don't know what y'all gonna do about this. I really don't. I don't know if the Med Gala, as it stands, can be saved because of why it started and how. But we'll go over all of that and my views on that. And I know you all have some views because we've talked about it. Hello to all the marvelous mods. Yes, dear Yvette, hello to all the marvelous mods. Thank you. And then we'll just do a housekeeping, kind of a check to let me know where I am. 10 likes, 13 in the chat. Please hit the like button. Yes, thank you all so much for hitting the like button. If you come in as Team Replay, in addition to like, look for the hype feature. So thank you all. So the set, Toya loves the set. Oh, it's beautiful. It was okay. It reminded me more of the Met Gala than the Med Gala. It really did, but it was okay. So Andy is saying, Jackie, are you vaccinated for drama? She said, yeah, I'm vaccinated for drama, over medicated, something she said, her idea of a joke. Jackie's just the strangest woman to me. I don't care for her, y'all, and I never did. I admire her, the professional things about her. I don't care for Dr. Jackie as a person. I wouldn't want her as a friend. I'm sorry, I wouldn't. So he goes around saying cute little stuff to everybody. Mimi, did Toya make you buy a ticket? I don't know. She could make me buy a ticket, everything else, whatever. Toya's giving a little stiff little glance like, yeah, don't try to get cute now. I'm going to give it to you. And she is. Excuse me, y'all. I'm keeping it warm in here because it's cold where I am. Okay, so everybody else greets each other on the stage. They all look pretty. We don't have Brandy and Angel on the stage yet because he's out there with the people that start the show. So the rookies come out a little bit later. So he says the group chat went silent. Simone ended up bringing Andy earplugs, and we know why. She knows she's going to get loud. Dr. Heavenly's loud too. And some of the other ladies in competition, they have to get loud too. Jackie don't really get loud. But Toya can increase the volume as well. So Contessa predicted a stormy night, but everyone looks beautiful. So it's going to be a beautiful war. Contessa's a veteran. Dr. Contessa, what are you talking about? She looks good, though. She looks really pretty. Hair, makeup, everything. Contessa, you got it right. And she paid attention to the theme because we just knew we were going to see Contessa in some gold or something, but she's in red like everybody else. Andy asked about the room situation. He tried to remedy it and it didn't. Simone said, I needed Jackie. She failed to deliver. Andy hopes they'll reconcile. And both of them are looking kind of keep hoping. So Toya begins. She gets the first package. She is sitting to Andy's right. Love or hate Toya. Toya is an OG that keeps on giving. She's here. She's still here. And they start out with a chock full package. Toya really did do a lot this season. The party at her house, Dr. Mimi making her slick little comments. It's cringy. I never been around anything like this. Acting like, I guess it's perfect over there with her and Steve. And then we watch Heavenly cuss Toya out in Jamaica. Toya had a chock full season. So Andy says it's been 6 months since filming is wrapped. Are you still in the house? This wasn't even, it might have been a viewer question. Did he lie on the viewers? Andy, you wanted to know that. I'm going to get on you, Andy, in a minute. Toya's grinning. Her and her gums. And she said, where else would I be? Yeah, Toya asked him, where else would you be? Well, people were wondering, usually you like to move a lot. She said, and I always move up. And I always pay for my homes and I move up to better. And that's true. We've seen Toya do that. The tax situation, that was back in season 2 or 3. I don't like this, Andy. Dorit was on Watch What Happens Live. Yeah, I'm bringing up Beverly Hills. Her and PK are out there with 4 or 5 different stacked mortgages and foreclosing on one after the other. So I want him to ask Dorit if she's still in her house. And if she is, somebody said in my chat the other night, she better be packing. I like the way Toya handled him. Even Quad said, ooh, the shade of it. Quad's in her blonde. She's trying to be a blonde bombshell, but Quad can keep it a little calm, but we're going to see a little cracks in Quad's foundation as well. She said, ooh, the shade of it. Dr. Heavenly, are you surprised she's still in the house? What do you think she might do? Dr. Heavenly, silence is always an option, or you don't have to always say something nasty. I think in a few years, she might move into a condo by herself. Everybody's like, by herself. Now, Dr. Eugene and Toya hosted the couples trip because whether we like it or not, they got one of the strongest marriages, in my opinion. It might not look like how I would want my marriage to look, but it works for Toya. It works for Dr. Eugene. And Dr. Heavenly, what are you talking about? And they were like, what do you mean by herself? Of course, she would be living with her husband. You'd move in with your husband, right? And Toya is looking daggers at Heavenly. Oh, did I say that out loud? This is where she plays crazy, and she really gets on my nerves. It wasn't cute. No, I don't mean that. I mean that she would actually move into a condo, when the boys get big. She's scrambling and lying. I want Dr. Heavenly to get control of herself and stop that. That was wrong. I want to see if there's any comments related to what we just talked about, and then we'll continue through with Toya's package. Quad wants to be a housewife and be like Phaedra. Dear Yvette, I think she does, but I don't know. If she's not going to be married to Medicine, my love, we can just get her out of here. Honestly, what they're adding over to Real Housewives, I don't think that would be a terrible idea. She's friends with Phaedra, and I think everybody over there kind of likes her. She's made reality TV her job. She's been very successful at it. She could actually get out of here and do that, and I wouldn't mind. So that's a good idea. So Toya says, well, that's just projection. A lot of people like to sit up and watch Eugene and I argue, and they don't show the truth about their marriage. So then he asked Toya, did you mean that about, no, not Toya. He asked Dr. Simone. Dr. Simone, did you mean that about Toya? How can she throw this party about a day off work when she's living a life of luxury? And Dr. Simone cleaned it up pretty good. What I meant, Andy, is that she has a wonderful life, a beautiful life. She keeps an immaculate home, and nobody has to tell her to pressure wash. And she threw a lob over there at Dr. Heavenly, which Dr. Heavenly deserved. Because Dr. Heavenly, you started picking at Toya, and Toya didn't do anything yet. So they brought out the old Mariah clip, y'all. Even Andy can't let it go. Cracking Quad's foundation. Ooh, not the pressure wash clip. Yeah, we get to watch Mariah telling Heavenly, here's Heavenly, what is she talking about? When Mariah was saying whatever she was to her and then said, pressure wash this MFer. And Dr. Jackie and I think Simone were kind of ushering Mariah out. So anytime you get a clip, Andy, production, I'm here for it. Show it to me. So I loved it. They don't love it, but I do. because this is still Mariah's show. I don't care what y'all say. So the digs get thrown at Heavenly, and Dr. Heavenly says, well, I know stuff about you, and I know stuff about your husband. And Toya is saying, well, I know stuff about the neighbors were telling me stuff about your husband. See, that's why Dr. Damon Deity is so quiet. He's not innocent, y'all. We saw that Similac on the counter. And this is where people that don't really watch, or they jump in and out like double dutch, they get mad. Why y'all bringing that up? Because it's all important. Dr. Heavenly has never explained, why did y'all have Similac on the counter? Okay, people with lactose intolerant, all kind of stuff, they've had all kind of choices for years. Almond milk, soy. People do not drink, grown people, Similac for the most part. You never answered that. So they going back and forth. What the neighbor said, this, that, and the other. Here's Heavenly. Heavenly going to blow it up if she don't do nothing else. I don't know why people argue with her. Well, we know stuff about Dr. Eugene, what he been doing at the hospital and why he got fired. So then Jackie pipes up. And I never said anything about your marriage. You talking about our marriage. We see the clip from Watch What Happens Live. Toya did not volunteer any information about Curtis. Toya was asked by Andy on Watch What Happens Live, who's handsy or something like that. And then we get to see Toya say, Curtis is, he's been handsy with people, including myself. And you too, Heavenly. He had his hands around your waist. He had an arm full of Heavenly. And there's a picture of it. I think it ended up on the brochure or something. But they won't say anything about that. Linda Gamble says, I'm glad that Heavenly's not coming back. They alluded to that, Linda, talking about her race for Congress. So I don't know. I don't know. Do you think she would not come back? We got to see what happens. Andy's saying that she might not be able to if she wins the seat. Most of them want her to win the seat. But in the show of hands, Brandy and Simone and Toya would not be bullied into hoping she wins. Are Quad and Phaedra still friendly after the last season when Faye was on? Now, honestly, I actually have not seen them out. Usually you see them out all over social media streets, and I haven't. I see Quad with Yandy a lot, and then Phaedra with the usual suspects, but come to think of it, I haven't seen them together. I don't know for sure, Cece. That is a good question. I live for Mariah's pressure watch. Cece, Andy brings it up every time he can. He claimed he don't like Mariah, but he will bring it up anytime he get ready. Also, now I don't know if we saw that this season when she said, you want to see the receipts, baby girl. That's a whole meme. I am ready for the husband to come out. I'm glad this is a part 2 of the reunion. Me too, Linda Gamble. I think they actually do too much. We get to see the husbands show up during the show. They arrive a little bit later, so I'm glad. Arm full of Heavenly. JJ, did you see that brochure? You know, Curtis likes to have something to hold, and Jackie has a body for clothes, but she don't have a body for where the kind of men that like something to hold. You saw that big booty walking through the airports. Some people say Atlanta, Hartsfield, Jackson, and the one I saw was Hilton Head. So he might have got caught on the front end and the back end. But I tell you what, that girl had a big old booty. It wasn't Jackie at all. Hugs and love to Linda Gamble from Sharon. Phaedra is hanging out with Sweet Tea and Dr. G. Oh, okay, that makes sense, Linda Gamble. They seemed kind of friendly when Phaedra was on the show. Remember she was giving Sweet Tea swim lessons? No, one of the kids were. And her and Greg were sitting on the side like proud parents. The optics of that were crazy. But Phaedra don't want Greg. Greg couldn't afford Phaedra even at the time. And Linda is speaking back. So they are going back and forth, the cross arguments about Jackie piped up. I don't know why. Toya's getting activated. She's upset. And then Curtis had the nerve to sit my husband down. Y'all, this is new to me. We saw Curtis do that with King this season, Kurt King. Now he feels like he's some elder and he can sit men down and give them advice. Lord, please don't let him get a podcast or a YouTube channel. Who is telling Curtis that we need advice from him? Jackie's crazy, y'all. She said, as he should. Toya said, no, he should not. He shouldn't be giving advice to anybody. So Andy he didn't say I want to move on, but he does want to move on because this is getting too heated too early. So she tells Jackie, you don't remember, must be the age. Now that gets Jackie where she lived. Jackie do not like nobody saying about her age. Jackie, you look wonderful for any age, let alone if you're 61 or 65. Now, Jackie said, the internet said I'm 65. I promise I'm 61. I don't know how old she is, y'all. I'm more inclined to believe she's 65. She's a known liar. So in my opinion, I believe she's 65. She claims 61. So here's Quad. Don't age shame Toya. Toya said, I'm almost 50 years old. I can say whatever I want about age. Toya, I can't stand with you on that. I don't really like age shaming either. But Jackie, you play crazy when it comes to Curtis. He cannot. Thank you. Here's Mama B's. Curtis can't give anybody advice. He cannot. And he got off easy talking to King because King really should have had a lot more to say to him, but he wanted to be respectful. He didn't want to ruin the trip. And even then, when they talked about it, it was at the Met Gala. How off could he go at the Met Gala? Quad too. Apparently, Curtis has no self-awareness like his wife. Yeah, I think that's why they go so well together, CC. I haven't talked about your marriage or your disrespect to your husband. That's Jackie to Toya. Now, isn't that talking about her marriage and her disrespect toward her husband? We can't be more upset than Eugene. Eugene has been taking this behavior from Toya since they first got on our screens. One time she told him, go ahead and eat another biscuit. And she just told him this season, oh, you think you hoard now? So Andy is talking to Toya about how did that feel. Toya lets us know that scene kind of devastated her at her home. She getting ready to drag Mimi too. She really felt bad about what happened. They didn't even catch me locking myself in the closet. Toya, watch it again. We saw that. Quiet went in there, tried to speak life into Toya. Toya was like too ashamed to come out, but then she did. But Toya made that whole situation a lot worse. And I think, I don't know, Toya something's been digging at her this season. She's been miserable and angry and upset. And usually I get a kick out of Toya. But more often than not, Toya, she had a tough season. I mean, she's first chair. She was good TV, but I didn't like the stress that she and Eugene had on them during this season. Maybe it was the driving 5 hours. I don't know. But we kind of see a resolution toward that. Toya found the office space, which was not in Dr. Contessa's space. And her and Dr. Scott are not in their space. They out of a van, looks like, to me. So hopefully this will come to some kind of resolution. She's definitely in her mid-60s. Sean Gabo, I believe it. I don't know why she's lying about it. 61. Like that's 35. 61 is still 61. But if you're 65, Jackie, what's wrong with that? She's independently operating in her profession. There's nothing that says she has to retire. She's brought in a lot of doctors that can work with her. She can stop whenever she wants, but she don't want to go home and look at Curtis because Curtis not going to be there. He in the DR. Dr. Jackie needs to explain doing the fake IVF to Quad, according to King, allegedly. Linda Gamble, I think that's why they did not want King to come to the reunion, because Contessa is going to pipe up and mention, oh, you didn't want him here? Quad said, I didn't say that. And I think the one still in touch with him, well, I know, Toya, because he did something for Ashton or Avery's birthday, whichever one was turning 16, he got to drive one of the luxury cars, and he was really excited about it. That was on social media. So, sister, thank you for coming in during the live, speaking to myself, chat, and mods. We just started Soul Sister, but it was kind of lengthy because, you know, they like to show everybody arrive, and then Andy explains the set, and they're still on Toya's package, which is the first package, and the season was chock full of Toya. So she deserves it. She really does. Quad is on the other first chair, but what Linda just said might have been fake IVF. And Linda, I wonder if this is why they go into it so hard and Andy is windmilling for Quad. Anybody that would say somebody would do that, that's crazy. And you're not crazy. Andy, you can't say what people would do. So I don't know. That's something to think about. Toya can take it because she gangs up on others. She started the whole series fighting Mariah's mother. Cece, she sure did. Like I said, Toya's no slouch. There's things about Toya that I like, things about Toya that I dislike. And one of the things is that she seemed to kind of have no filter, no respect, even for her husband. You hear how she talked to Eugene. And Dr. Heavenly used to stay on Mama Lucy's case too. Called a lady ugly, all kind of stuff. Everybody's speaking to get that part. Did y'all see the other pic today and Simone took with Kirk King? Kiwan J, I did. And that was another thing that's under Quad's skin. Like, you still talking to my ex? Yeah, Dr. Greg is an ex too, and half the cast still talks to him. So they don't have to throw King away either if they don't want to. So there's a little back and forth between Toya, Dr. Jackie. Dr. Heavenly wants to know, what is she talking about? And I think she's lying when she does that. Mimi's weighing in. Mimi had the nerve to say, I didn't say anything. Mimi lies with a straight face. Mimi is a dangerous woman. There's things about Mimi that I like, but I have to watch Dr. Mimi. From the way she came on with Sweet Tea, it just put a bad taste in my mouth about Dr. Mimi. And I will give her credit for her son, for all those different things. I do think her and Steve are a good addition. They're good for the show, but I have to watch Dr. Mimi. She doesn't know anything about it. I didn't say anything about, and Andy has to correct her. And then they roll that bean footage of Dr. Mimi saying, this is cringe. I never been around this before. And then Mimi sits there and lies. You were asking, how do I talk to Eugene? And I said, lean into your femininity. She did say that, but Toya was asking, how do I talk to Eugene? Remember, she couldn't get him to move and get the men to move for the game. But the crazier she talked to him, he was less inclined to move, and he was already doing a little silly doctor's notes and stuff. So the whole thing about her asking Mimi, how do I talk to Eugene? It was like a rhetorical question. I don't think she expected anyone to give an answer, particularly lean into your femininity. Toya's wild, but she's feminine. So I don't like when people throw little digs like that. He wants to say, yikes. I can't wait to hear your review on the reunion. Yes, Linda Gamble, thank you so much for going over there. She's a new subscriber as well. It'll be up sometime this evening. Keywan J's over there working, y'all, because she does the scripted television as well. And you know Tyler Perry, honey, he's running from something because he won't stop working. He puts up so many episodes. Also, is it Divorced in the Black? Whatever that is on Netflix. I can't remember the name of it. Please hit the like button, subscribe, and share the live to keep the channel in the algorithm. Replay gang, like the video and join the conversation. Please hype the video. Yes, when y'all leave comments, I love it. The people that miss it, you come in and leave a comment. I answer all comments. Y'all, I did another video on Oprah's interview of the lady that was caught cheating or not cheating, according to her, on the Jumbotron. And that one's getting a lot of traction. I saw a lot of new viewers over there leaving comments. Sandra, I'm still giving Mimi the side eye. Yeah, Dr. Mimi, she's a little slick. She gets the side eye for me too, Sharon Gobble. I agree. I'll be there. Thank you. So Andy asked about Toya. Again, Toya was spiraling. She said she needed a friend to truly check on her and says, are you okay? Now, this is where Toya puts blinders on. Kwasi said, I did that. Everybody said, yes, she did that. And she said, I know you did that, but I need everybody more of a friend. Toya, most of them are co-workers. They're not going to do that. And then Contessa interrupts and she says, yeah, if something like that does happen, a real friend would say, okay, party's over. I agree with Dr. Contessa because it was really awkward. And then also the pocketbook thing was going on. That came up because Dr. Heavenly, remember, she came back in the kitchen. Toya, I didn't mean that. And then she still forgot her pocketbook. And it was a fake Balenciaga. And then she mentioned Eugene's private. So that came up again. I'm not sure if it's at this part of the reunion, but that did come up again. Dr. Heavenly said it had nothing to do with his peace size. What it had to do with was that she said something to me and I just wanted to throw something back. But I think Heavenly at this stage of the game and running for Congress, she should be able to get out of that. Why does Eugene always have to catch a stray? Toya got really graphic and said she always mentioning my husband's size like she want to suck on it. And everybody was like, woo. And Andy's like, okay. Y'all doing too much for Andy. And, you know, Andy usually eats this up. And then Toya said, I don't see no bulge in your man's pants. Now, Toya, don't stoop to her level. Because Dr. Daddy Damon, I don't know that he's ever said anything like this about Eugene. That's Heavenly. But again, Heavenly, you got Dr. Damon catching strays. And then Dr. Heavenly said, my man from Barbados. Okay. You can stereotype the Caribbean if you want. I won't say yay or nay, okay? I won't say yay or nay. Thank you, Linda. 12 likes and 14 in the chat. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Keywan J, now you break it down. Toya did a lot this season. However, she's a terrible person. Yes, Keywan J, she earned that first chair. I think she did a lot more than Quad, and Quad ended up with the other first chair. So Heavenly had brought up Eugene's Johnson again. Toya brings out a prop, which I'll allow. It was a lab coat. You know, the lab coats that the doctors wear in their confessionals. It has details. She said, this is the details from the Met Gala. And I heard Contessa was saying, "Oh, that's creative." She said, "But you should put the replies, put everything on it." No, she don't have to do all that. She could put what she want to put on it. And if you want to bring a prop, you put on what you want. So I thought that was funny. Everybody was laughing at that. Dr. Heavenly was even laughing. And he says, "Miss Quad, Miss Quad." And Quad, she got it. Quad, where'd you get that little catchphrase from? Where'd you get that from? Mariah. So he brings up Quad and King. Quad is stone-faced. We see Jackie in her confessional talking about women of advanced maternal age. Now, Jackie, I know you got your doctor's hat on, but some of that was kind of, I don't know. I don't think she had to go into details like that. Me being Quad's doctor on the state side, this, that, and the other, advanced maternal age. So Quad, she's kind of saying you might have waited until you got too old to have a baby, which is what y'all were throwing at Sweet Tea, who's younger than you and had fibroids. But let me not bring up Sweet Tea yet. She might come up later. So Andy says, "Quad, you confirm you're not together throughout the season?" Quad said, "I thought he was the one." Quad, I don't know. I still don't know where I stand on their relationship. Honestly, his first season, I saw the chemistry. They would laugh together. They were always a beautiful couple. But then there's people that really do feel like the whole thing was staged, or maybe like a Stacey and TJ, Kenya and Walter situation. I don't know. I think people are just like almost half and half on it, really. Dr. Jackie was throwing shade at Quad. Linda Gamble, I thought that too. I tried to give her credit because she did have her doctor hat on, but Dr. Jackie is a friend to no one. And I can't believe Quad would use her as a doctor. I would use Simone. That time, Mariah and Aiden, kind of like a change of life baby. She was carrying twins and she lost them. She was with Dr. Simone. So then that whole chapter turned for Mariah and Aiden. She was really grieving that last season when they were icing her out. They were on the couples trip. And they were saying, "Well, you don't act like we're family." And Mariah was saying, "This ain't no damn family." There was a bunch of stuff going on behind the scenes. That's another reason why I'll drag Quad and also Dr. Jackie when I get a chance. It's just disgraceful the way they treated her. I still don't believe in Quad and King's relationship. CC, you and a lot of other people. I do his first season, but we could see the cracks. I think they were broken up well before the end. Him refusing to dance with her at Met Gala, they were already broken up. And I don't think that he was even coming. She probably had to beg him to come and claim he was at a wedding. But when he showed up in white, I think he just decided, he might have had a tux or rented one. I don't think he had another obligation. I think he just didn't want to go. King said Quad brought him on the show as a fake storyline. I believe it too, because Linda, remember we had Sweet Tea and also Dr. G. And then Sweet Tea and then they were getting married on the show. She just wanted to do a lot to dim Sweet Tea's light. And she was able to do it. And Sweet Tea not having the experience of being on TV and how you respond to something like that, a lot of her responses turn the audience against her. And then certain people love Quad. I acknowledge Quad when she's doing, her TV thing. I find it kind of entertaining, but some of it is snake-like behavior as well. Can I hug your neck? This is the man you claim beat you down and you drew a knife on him and he got you in a headlock in the kitchen and all this kind of stuff, and police at your home, wedding cancellation. Why do you want to hug his neck? I don't want to go anywhere near him. We're on the same job, but I don't have to engage with him. So Quad, I don't know. So Andy's still windmilling. Quad says, well, I don't do anything for a storyline. And then Andy brought up, Dr. Heavenly, somebody brought up that you were doing IVF for a storyline. Dr. Heavenly started to talk and Quad said, "Let me speak." And Dr. Heavenly piped right down, y'all. Dr. Heavenly, you're going to get in trouble over there on Carlos. She's not in her closet on YouTube, but she still makes mischief over on Carlos King's channel. And this is a part of what that was. So Andy was windmilling. Anybody that goes through IVF on TV, I feel like they're very brave and courageous, and they'd be crazy to be faking something like that. He's talking about Bose too, y'all, because we think her and Keely and all of this, that's a mess too, over there on Beverly Hills. And the fans don't care. It's still boring. That's my least favorite part of that show. I don't care if they go shopping, they can sit down and eat, they can travel. All of that is more important and interesting to me than watch Bose stick her stomach and get all out of shape for this 50-year-old man that woke up and decided, I want to have a baby. He could have had a baby at any point. So I actually don't believe Keely. I think he's trying to lock her and her money down. Then let me not start on them now. We still are married to medicine. But Andy, we're not buying these IVF storylines. We don't like it. It is grueling. Dr. Jackie weighs in. It's hard on the mental. It's hard on the relationship. It's hard on your body. We don't care, y'all. We don't care. So Andy's trying to defend her. Dr. Simone says, I have a question. You can tell me to mind my business. Simone, if you have to couch your question with that, maybe don't ask it. Quad looks at her like, go ahead. Quad lets her ask it. If y'all couldn't even decide where you're going to live, why'd you decide to move forward with having a baby? Well, I think the king would have been a good co-parent. Something else Quad is spinning. A load of bull. I don't believe any of it. Contessa's saying, well, you started out so in love, and now it looked like when he lost interest, even if he's a good co-parent, you kind of, Contessa, what are you talking about? Leave Quad alone about this. I think Quad knows she's caught, and she don't want to keep talking about it. That's the look I saw on Quad's face. Quad was stone-faced. I loved him with everything in my heart, the whole of my heart. And she start preaching and doing her MLK Quad thing, and it's just ridiculous. Andy Cohen did say anyone doing interview with content creators will be fired from the show. Linda Gamble, I wonder if he'll put that in their contracts. Because honestly, I don't know if he'll be able to put that genie back in the bottle. Because really the first one that started that, Candy Barris became a content creator while she was on the show doing Speak on It and talking about the show, like reviewing the show right after, having on guests. So I don't know. I guess he can put whatever he wants in their contract. If they sign it, they have to abide by it. But I think a lot of that's aimed at Heavenly too. Because Carlos is a content creator, even though he looked down on YouTube for years. He has a thriving channel. He does a lot of interviews. And Dr. Heavenly is a frequent guest. And I think she'll be back in that closet too. Just because she's running for Congress now, she might have settled down a little bit, but I don't believe it. So the Quad King storyline. Quad, you didn't deserve first cheer for this. This is ridiculous. JJ, Lord have mercy, Sandra. You sound like Quad, LOL. JJ, thank you. I like to tease them. Sometimes I'll do their voice. Cece says, I got sick of Quad and her Miss Jane Pittman speeches. Didn't you, Cece? Quad kills me doing that. She tries to garner sympathy, and I'm a sympathetic person. Even if I don't like the person, I couldn't get any sympathy going for Quad. I really couldn't. Because I don't know if the girl's telling the truth, because she acts so much. She says she don't, but she does. So Brandy and Angel come to the stage. We get to see them come on. I see you, production. Production is following Angel out. Here come Angel. You know, Angel got that Coke bottle. And then here come Brandy. She just a grinning. These are my girls, y'all. These are two of the best additions I have seen in a long time. So Andy's just singing their praises. Can you have it all? Two nurse practitioners. And he's saying everything they do. Ask these two ladies. And they sit down. Andy, you know, Angel. Angel likes to do her energy check. She asks her couch, oh, everybody's smiling? Because it's Angel. They all like her. They're kind of smiling. Heavenly, I don't know about your smile. Heavenly, what's going on here? Heavenly's looking. Quad smiling. That's her friend. Quad's just smiling. Angel sits down. They pass the vibe check. Brandy goes to her couch. They're all grinning. Dr. Contessa, look at Dr. Contessa. Look how Brandy looking at her. Dr. Contessa, you fake. So they sit down. Andy starts bragging on the newbies. They take a couple of viewer questions. One of the viewer questions, the viewer, you kind of dragging Angel a little bit, or you trying to be a little slick. How can you be a nurse and an actress and this and that? And Angel's looking at the question like, what? And then she says, I started out, I was dancing, I was in entertainment. She named some of the big name people she worked with, Justin Bieber and Kendrick Lamar. And I figured I'm not just going to be pretty. I'm going to put something in my head. So I finished my multiple degrees and I'm a nurse. Y'all know she also got the scrub line. She acts in a movie. And then one of the questions was like, and is that a real movie? It's a real movie. It's on one of the streaming services. So I don't know. Some of the viewers are a trip. So Angel popped her collar saying everything she do. And everybody on the couch was like, yes, that's right. That's right. So I like that. So then they get to Brandy, and the viewer asked the question that kind of dug at Contessa. Contessa, why were you upset and jealous about Brandy's husband throwing her a dinner when your husband wouldn't do nothing but show up at your party? Here's Contessa. This was a huge misunderstanding. Contessa, you a liar and the truth ain't in you. Y'all know I like Contessa, but Contessa a lie in a minute. Contessa started lying. She said, well, we didn't compare because she had a dinner. I had a birthday party. Brandy started getting on her. Brandy said, I didn't. She said, oh, Andy asked her, Brandy. She said, he said, will you invite Contessa to your birthday party? She said, I will now, but we had to have a few words because I didn't hear all of that stuff she was saying at the party. And I kind of figured that was true. Contessa lies. Well, y'all were talking about me at the party. Who was talking about you at the party? That's Brandy. You and Heavenly. Now, the only one sitting there was Dr. Heavenly, Brandy, and Dr. Simone was sitting there. Contessa said, y'all had a whole conversation at the bar. Brandy said, well, was it negative? Production shows us. So now we'll determine whether or not this was negative. Production shows us Heavenly saying, and remember, Dr. Heavenly was drinking Dirty Shirley's. So Shirley Temple, it just has like the Sprite and the cherry stuff in it. The Dirty Shirley, you can add liquor to it, so vodka or something. Heavenly was drunk, y'all. She was drunk and she was meddling because she didn't want the Damon Jr. stuff to come out. She needed to kind of throw some bait in the water and get something going. So that's what she was sitting there saying. So you're saying that your husband threw you this dinner and he's going to pay for it, and Dr. Contessa had to throw her own party? And Brandy's like, yeah, that's what happened. So when they were at the dinner, when they went inside to the table, I think that Dr. Heavenly had already told Contessa, yeah, girl, she talking about you and the fact that Scott didn't do anything but show up in that Ike Turner wig and his pimp suit, and you had to do everything. So I think Dr. Heavenly did that because she was also looking very guilty on the couch. So Brandy was letting Andy know, yeah, she's invited, but I had to get her together because she kept trying to compare my dinner to her party. Here's Contessa. It wasn't comparable. We don't have to compare anything. I apologize if you felt that I came with anything other than love because you are so wonderful. And I love Contessa was dancing a jig, y'all, but I'll allow it because Contessa was wrong. She was really wrong. And Brandy kept interrupting her and Contessa kept backing down. She was like, I'll wait until when you're finished, then I'll go. And Brandy's like, okay, I'm finished. And then Contessa, as soon as she started lying, Brandy would interrupt her. Well, wait a minute. And then she said, when you're finished, I'll go. But to me, it was the friendliest fight I ever saw because Brandy was laughing. Look how she's looking at Contessa. Contessa's grinning from ear to ear, but Contessa's lying. And then Brandy said, and then you kept crying. Oh, my husband, he wouldn't even help me throw my party. Dr. Contessa sat there and lied with a grin, y'all. She said, I never said that. Brandy said, yes, you did say that. Dr. Heavenly's on the other couch raising her eyebrows because Dr. Heavenly and Dr. Contessa, when they were friends, they would have this same battle. Contessa would cry to Dr. Heavenly about Dr. Scott, and Dr. Heavenly would blow it up to the whole group, and then Contessa would get amnesia and forget anything about it. So she's trying to do that here, but Brandy is holding her feet to the fire. So all she can do is show us her pretty teeth and smile. But Dr. Contessa, you're lying. You are lying. Yes, Quad is so corny. She is. This is conversation from earlier. JJ's laughing, not Jane Pittman. Yeah, you know she gonna give a MLK Quad speech or Miss Jane Pittman. Andy, please bring back Brandy. Yeah, I think Brandy earned her chair. I agree with you, Linda Gamble. She did a great job. Angel's movie is on Tubi. Okay, I knew it was on a streaming service, so I don't know what that viewer was talking about. Is it really a movie? They screened it in the theater. Yeah, it was a movie. Brandy's husband is fine. Dear Yvette, everybody's like Shamar. I think they are the cutest couple. They're my favorite couple on this show. 50 minutes into a 1 hour live. Thank you so much, Mama Bees. I appreciate that. Linda Gamble has 13 likes, 19 in the chat. Even if you're in the bushes, drop down and give me a like. I would appreciate that so much. So Brandy and Contessa are having this really friendly fight that's kind of funny. And then Contessa was saying that she wasn't mad. She did not get jealous about Shamar. Contessa tried to throw a little bit of shade again. I just wanted the night to be focused on Brandy because it was her birthday. So we have to stop in the middle of the party and call her husband and thank him for chicken wings. And the rest of the couch was like, ooh, not chicken wings. Dr. Contessa, that was kind of dirty. If we remember the show, and I do, Shamar had the children call, and they got 4 kids. All of them was like, happy birthday, mommy, happy birthday. And Brandy was saying, thank you. And Shamar was like, everything going okay? Happy birthday. And she was going, thank you for setting this up. Thank you. And Brandy might have said 7 to 8 thank yous, but like Yvette said, Shamar's fine. All the little kids are cute. It's bedtime. They stalling. Contessa, you were angry and jealous. And they were not thanking Shamar for chicken wings. So I didn't like Contessa doing that. So they agreed to kind of disagree on that. Contessa did apologize. I thought it was sincere. And I thought it was also like an acknowledgement, like, okay, rookie, I couldn't punk you. The same way Toya tried to punk Angel and couldn't do that either. That's going to come up too. Thank you, Linda. Like, comment, subscribe, hype the video. Yes, thank you all. I appreciate that. So, Heavenly, oh, they showed that scene again. Contessa started showing off a little bit at the dinner, and she mentioned the same thing about, are we going to thank God or thank your husband for the chicken wings or whatever? And that's when Heavy pulled out that witchy laugh. That's how I knew Dr. Heavenly had started the fight too, because I feel like Dr. Heavenly brought that conversation back to Contessa as if Brandy was talking about her, and she wasn't. And Dr. Contessa was complaining about Scott, and we've seen her do it in the past. So they go back and forth about that, but they kind of resolve it, which is really good. That's what we want. When Brandy was mocking Contessa, though, the rest of the ladies were laughing, and Contessa said, "I don't sound like that." Contessa, "Yes, you do." Brandy was saying, "Oh, I'm almost 50 years old and I never had a party." So Andy was even laughing. So Contessa, I think you're going to leave this one alone. Good job, Brandy. Good job. So now they go to a commercial break. Dr. Mimi is asking for water and Heavenly is joking with her. "You bees over here too thirsty." She's so gutter to me, y'all. For a doctor, I mean, "You bees are too thirsty. You're asking for too much." Mimi acting like she's laughing, but if this were Toya or anybody else, Dr. Mimi wouldn't like that. You couldn't sit up and call this lady a female dog to her face and joke about it. I'm sorry, you couldn't do it. So Mimi's laughing. "I'm just thirsty. I don't want to be dry. I don't want to be dusty." Okay, Mimi. So we see that Mimi will not connect. She won't correct Heavenly on anything. That's why I'm suspicious of her, the way she talks to and about Toya. I think she thinks Toya is beneath them. And I don't think that's right. So they come back from the commercial break. And, Brandy had also said, I don't know why this is down here. Excuse me, everybody. She had to get to the bottom of it because she don't play about her husband. Everybody else pipes up. None of us play about our husband. Some of y'all do play about y'all's husband. But Brandy already put you on notice about Shamar. That man did something nice. He swiped his card, invited y'all to dinner, and y'all Heavenly was over on Carlos King talking junk about the dinner. The food was nasty. The place was in a strip mall, all kind of stuff. So Dr. Heavenly is not a friend, y'all. This is y'all co-worker. Believe it. If you don't know, I'll tell you, that's your co-worker. So production, they showed us that scene again. We saw Contessa live. Brandy called her out. And then again, I think Dr. Heavenly provoked the whole scene. I didn't know that. All right, we went through chicken wing. Brandy finally tells her, "Girl, bye." Finally, she got tired of interrupting her because Dr. Contessa kept lying. She said, "Girl, bye." Everybody else just sitting there looking shocked. So I'm not shocked. I kind of knew Brandy could hold her own, and I'm glad about it. I'm glad that everybody's on notice. I think she'll be back. I think she and Angel had a pretty good first season. I think Brandy may be a little more active than Angel, but Angel, you kind of had to provoke a little bit. They brought up the numbing spray again. They get all into Angel's business again. Angel, stop letting them joke up under your clothes like that. I don't like that. Andy calls out Dr. Heavenly. He said, "Dr. Heavenly, you was kind of impressed with the way Angel was dancing." Dr. Heavenly, "Well, I know that she has a beautiful body. She could actually do a lot of things. I don't know what she's done in the past." Angel was just laughing, but I didn't like that. If y'all remember that scene, Dr. Heavenly was being a creep. She was right up under Angel, honey, and she had her phone. She was filming Angel. She said, "Yeah, go ahead." And then she jumped out there and tried to do a non-moving twerk or whatever Heavenly was doing. I don't know what she was doing. Brandy worked with Damon. Right. Heavenly probably don't care for, in my opinion. Oh, yeah, dear Yvette, that is true. Brandy did, I think, either intern under him or when she became a nurse practitioner. We know Damon does a lot of mentoring and coaching of young medical professionals, including Dr. Eugene. And I think Dr. Heavenly, if there are women, the way she is about women can't talk to men and all kind of stuff, she probably would get a little bit jealous, even though Brandy is married with 4 children. So this numbing spray comes up. Oh, it was a viewer question. The viewer wanted to know, how could a medical professional make a mistake and do something like that? Angel was saying that she only took one spray, but it had her where she couldn't even breathe. She's laughing over it. I didn't find that funny. Andy wants to know what it's for. Andy, we think you know what it's for. They were like, it's to numb your gag reflexes or something like that. So, Andy, do you get it now? I think you already know. So then Quad asked a question that I was happy she asked. She says, when you had that conversation with Angel, Toya, why did you ask Bernard how Angel was in bed? Toya started lying. That was part of a much longer scene and a bunch of questions. Now, Toya, we do know that these scenes are cut to the quick, but Toya, this was a creepy, freaky, nasty question. And I think you're very jealous of Angel as well. So she starts, going around the bush about why she said that. Toya, it was a series of questions. I still think it was too much. And I think she's lying. It was a joke. We play all the time. Remember, she don't really know this lady like this. And she don't know Bernard at all, to our knowledge. So I don't know what she was talking about. I found it to be a little bit intrusive. So I was glad Quad stepped for her friend like that. Angel was sitting there looking at her. Angel knew what it was about. And then Andy says, well, Angel, so will you use Toya again to help her fix you up? And Angel said, Andy, I never needed her help fixing me up. I think Angel was just going along with it as like a storyline, like, find me a doctor. But Angel clearly doesn't need any help. And clearly Bernard is back in the friend zone, if that, which we all appreciate and thank her for. We really do. Heavenly was trying to call Angel at 304. Linda Gamble, she was, but she didn't have the guts enough to do it. And she seemed really impressed with what Angel had going on. That little dip move that Angel was doing, Dr. Heavenly dropped down and was trying to do it. She was a mess right before she then threw a political rally on the yacht, which contestants shouldn't have let her do. Dr. Heavenly gets away with all kind of stuff. So they end that scene. Then we find out that Mimi is most likely to treat her friends as patients. And then we see little clips from the Florida trip, the game that they played. We see Mimi in her messy moments during the Florida trip, also at Toya's party, a couple of different scenarios. Then we see a few vulnerable moments with Mimi, talking about Stevie, her in a few scenes with Steve. She had a chock full package. I'm not a Dr. Mimi fan, but she might have did more than Quad. I don't know. For second season, I don't know why she's way down on the couch. We got Jackie who gave nothing. Quad sitting up here in first chair on that side. I don't know. So she get ready to cry again. She's talking about, as a psychiatrist, as a mom, she started talking about little Stevie, the pressure, this, that, and the other. What I do like is that the cast, including Toya, said, you are a great mom. All that you're showing, all you're putting into Stevie, he couldn't have a more perfect mother. Y'all know Mimi, as cold as I think she is, that gets her where she lives. That pokes her heartstrings, pulls at her, and Dr. Mimi is already crying. So I did love to hear Toya and everybody, Andy, complimenting her on who she is as a mother. I really do. Jackie needs a folding chair. Kiwan J, she sure does. Let her just sit on off the couch, or when they're ready for her, call her on. She can drop to friend of at this point. She's really not useful to me. So Toya and Mimi, they went back and forth a little bit. And they talk about when they were at the event that Dr. Heavenly had, the political rally. And Toya and Heavenly get into it about the political rally, that Mimi always has Dr. Heavenly's back, and she doesn't do that for anybody else. Mimi saying they have each other's back, but that's not the case, that she doesn't do that for anybody else. And Quad made a good point. She said, you got to realize that when you're with your girls, you don't have to psychoanalyze them. She said, like me, if I want to go see a doctor, I will call up, make an appointment with Dr. Jackie. I'm in a group of girls. I don't want to hear with a doctor, hear from a doctor. Mimi's still claiming she doesn't do that. Jackie's being quiet right then. And Dr. Mimi tries to lie. She says, okay, she apologized to Brandy. Y'all remember I said they thought they had to pick a rookie and try to check her. And Angel kind of had her energy where you can't really do that to her. Brandy seemed a little more soft and a little more cordial and like, but Brandy was, if you jumped on Brandy would jump back. So Dr. Mimi did try, like, you're on the wrong team out there at the political rally, and Brandy checked her. She backed her off her immediately. So now Dr. Mimi's apologizing for that. She didn't mean it like that. Brandy knows she's lying, but she's like, that's okay. Accept it. Accept it. So good job, Brandy. Brandy's wielding them off. I love it. So she said, Mimi also is now claiming they are showing the scene where Toya went off on Eugene. Mimi said, "Oh, this is so cringe. I never seen this before." She had lied and said, "I didn't say anything." Andy in production, they showed that she did say that. And now she's saying, "Toya, I would never come into your home and try to disparage your marriage." That's what you did, Mimi. And when before the marriage, she came in. Remember, this is a new house, new outside furniture, everything. Mimi had a little tiny cocktail napkin, sit it down where she was going to sit, and then perched on it as if Toya's stuff was dirty. And that's when Toya said, "What are you doing that for?" She said, "My stuff ain't dirty. You ain't in Heavenly's house. Heavenly's house is going to always catch strays. Heavenly, I do believe it might be a little bit dirty over there." Funky Dineva said the same thing when he got mad at her one time. So I don't know. I'm inclined to believe it. Allegedly. We'll see. So Mimi is saying she doesn't want to treat her friends as if she's always in doctor mode, but she's not going to sugarcoat anything. And she wants to hold Toya accountable. This is why I can't with Mimi. Who needs any more accountability than Dr. Heavenly? Which nobody ever forces her to do it, including Jackie. This is why she's going to lose her friend of 30 years because she will not hold Heavenly accountable. So they're doing that again. We see the men show up backstage. Curtis might have already been there, but it looks like Dr. Eugene arrived with Cecil. Steve is wearing shades. He is in a bubble leather coat. Steve's looking good. Everybody looks nice. Curtis is teasing Steve backstage. "You look a little antsy." Now, what we didn't know is that a fire has been lit under Steve, I believe, by Dr. Mimi, y'all. So she gets to come out there quiet and crying and apologizing and smiling at Toya. But I think she already knows she wound Steve up and he's getting ready to go at Dr. Eugene. So now production takes us backstage with the men. Dr. Heavenly's out there talking about something, but it must not have been that interesting because production fully goes back to the men. Steve is talking about the Med Gala. "Steve, leave us alone about this Med Gala." And Dr. Eugene's sitting there telling him, "Well, honestly, when you said you were out in Jamaica, I didn't expect you to come. And all you had to do was buy a ticket." Steve was like, "We did buy a ticket." Steve, you and Mimi argued from sunup to sundown about buying a ticket. But he's saying they did buy a ticket. But Eugene, Dr. Eugene, I didn't like you and Toya trying to embarrass them at that door because they could have got the ticket money later. So they go back and forth on this. Cecil sat up and said something, y'all. He had this little fur collar on. Come on, Cecil, with the fur collar. Cecil makes me laugh. Cecil says we need more accountability to be taken. So I found that pretty funny. So he said he didn't know if Stephen and Eugene, he didn't know that they were going to come in there and get into the Met Gala again. Now, this is Jackie. This is where we need Curtis to pull on his elder hat and try to calm things between these two men. Eugene is usually calm. He's gone off about Toya this season, but he's usually good-natured and calm. Steve is pretty mild-mannered. He'll step for Mimi, but Steve doesn't get into a lot of stuff either. He's usually the mediator. So if these two are going at it, Curtis, we need you to act as the elder, and you could try to smooth this situation. Scott's sitting there. Cecil's sitting there. Y'all, I didn't really care for this too much. I don't like to see the men get into it. They don't usually do this. But evidently, there's more going on behind the scenes between Toya and also Dr. Mimi to get Dr. Eugene and Steve wound up. Because I don't know why they have this friction. She did. Quad needs to go. She brings nothing but campaign speeches. Yeah, Jerry Vet, we've heard it throughout the seasons. Cece says, "My sister-in-law downsized recently from a 12,000 square foot house to 5,000 outside of Dallas. Some of these housewives are not doing it for me." Yeah, I mean, Cece, if you're looking at a life that you could live or already live, where's the aspirational aspect of it? Beverly Hills has it, but they're so boring. It's like, okay. Steve was getting on Eugene. He sure was, Cece. He was ready. He came in ready to rumble. Nope. I equate the Barrington Medicine ladies to housewives, sort of. I do too, Cece. They are a standalone show, as Quad would say, but I do equate them to the Housewives, and they're better than a lot of the franchises, honestly. I wish I could find that little baby cry thing where she was telling Giselle, the numbers, honey, the numbers. And she was saying that her numbers are, well, Married to Medicine's numbers. Quite, I think that's her show. But Married to Medicine's numbers are better than Beverly Hills. I think she mentioned even Salt Lake City. OC for sure. Sharon says Cecil with the fur collar. Yes, Simone had him dressed up. I don't care how much Simone yelled at the top of her lungs. Cecil is her man, her man, her man. She gonna take care of Cecil, and I don't blame her. I actually like that. I think it's cute. So Eugene is saying, why are we having this conversation? Eugene, I don't know why you're having the conversation either. Excuse me, y'all. I don't know. But Steve was saying, you justify bad behavior every day with Toya. And the men are like, oh no. Even Cecil's collar was shaking his head. Everybody's like, oh no. Because you don't bring up the wife. Y'all are into it. Why did you bring up Toya? So Eugene gets upset. They start getting into it. Yeah, I think Steve was looking for a fight. I think he was looking for a fight. And I think Mimi has been in Steve's ear because of what she has gone through with Toya. Matter of fact, I forgot to mention when they were out on the stage, me and Contessa said, well, if you're really friends and you really care, if things get to a certain level, you could say, okay, party's over, we're leaving. Mimi's lying. I was the first one to leave. Toya said, you were the first one asked to leave. And that's true. And then Mimi says, well, you had called us. She called them something, low down dirty bees or something. Something she called them. They answered to it because she jumped up, Heavenly jumped up. If somebody starts screaming out a low down dirty bee, I don't jump up because I don't answer to that. But clearly Mimi and Heavenly knew that they were provoking Toya. Yes, and Quad needs to stand alone out of the Married to Medicine franchise. Dear Yvette is steady trying to give Quad her pink slip. We're going to see if she's going to get it, dear Yvette. I don't care if they do give it to her. But Andy still likes Quad. I don't know why she's first chair. Linda Gamble says Real Houses of Miami was canceled. Yes, I have a standalone Sandra Pease extra on that. They claim they're paused. I think they're canceled. I say good form the way they treated my sweet Gertie. You assault this lady who's recovering from cancer and in remission and then proceed to ice her out. You deserve to lose your job. And Gertie's still over there living a wonderful life. So I can't really be too upset about it. Cece says, dear Yvette, thank you. Oh, I'm sorry, my glasses are playing tricks on me. Quad can put together a show with Yandy, become the outside. They stay outside, Cece. I think I would watch that. Like a Girls of Bravo, like a fun Girls of Bravo thing. And then y'all had another idea, a Sober House Peacock Bravo edition. And then they would have Kim Richards, Katie Ross from Real Housewives of Potomac, Jax Taylor from Vanderpump Rules and The Valley, and then Karen Huger as the Grand Dame. Now, she said she stopped drinking, but we think she's still doing a little something. We don't know. We don't know. They outside. So Cece's giving another show idea to Bravo. Let's see what they do. So the men are backstage tussling. Curtis, long, tall Curtis has not stood up into his elder role to try to alleviate things. And Steve has brought up Toya, which is a no-no. He's yelling at Eugene. You want to be one of the women? Because you act like one. Cecil in his collar said, oh, no, we're not going to do that. Curtis, step into your role. Curtis hadn't said anything. And I don't think Eugene's acting like a woman for defending his wife. Steve, that's below the belt. You defend Mimi as you should. I don't like that. So finally, long, tall rises up. Steve, we don't do that. Yes, y'all do that. This is sickening. So then we're back out on the stage. Dr. Heavenly goes from filling cavities to trying for a congressional seat. Dr. Heavenly for Georgia, her package, a bunch of questions. Do they trust her? Can she pass a background check? All the cast says yes. Should she be trusted with the nuclear codes? Everybody says no. Dr. Heavenly lets them know that Congress doesn't have the nuclear codes. And she said, you see, Toya didn't know that. No, Toya didn't know that. But Toya says she's not in your district. And if she was, she wouldn't vote for you. Does Heavenly need a stylist? The cast says yes. Evidently, she's working with Jackie. Jackie has a stylist herself because they did a flashback and Jackie was almost unrecognizable. She didn't have any tracks in. She was like, Curtis, are we going to have a baby or not? And he was like, I thought that ship sailed. Yeah, long, tall, I remember you. I remember you talking to Jackie like that. He didn't let Jackie do anything she wanted to do. She didn't get her deluxe apartment in the sky. She didn't get her baby, nothing. But if she's still siding with him, I mean, what can we do? So Dr. Heavenly's asked about her son. Y'all, Heavenly is lying. Or if she's not lying now, she lied before. She takes a long pause. She said, my son had a mental health emergency. Now, Heavenly, why didn't you mention that? She didn't say nothing about the police, none of that. I heard that David Jr. was trying to run over the police in his car or something on campus. That's what I heard. So now we're hearing that he had a mental health emergency. Dr. Heavenly, we have compassion for that. And I actually like all of the Married to Medicine kids, except Simone Jr. Y'all can't stand Michael. But he's a young man. I'll give him a little bit of grace. But I really like the Married to Medicine kids, including what I remember about David Jr. So if we heard anything about a medical or mental situation, I feel like she would have had more compassion than lying about it, saying she didn't know anything about it. Well, Daddy knows there's certain things I can't take. He didn't tell me. And Damon is backstage telling the men, yep, this is true. Half the black men in jail, they actually have a mental health situation going on. Yep. So, and Dr. Damon, I believe you. Actually believe this part. I think she lied before, that she didn't know anything about it. And that's the thing I have against Heavenly. I want her to just take it to the house, take care of her children, run for this seat, do whatever it is she needs to do. But I feel like she lied, and I don't like that. Because this could have been a really important storyline and part of the show, because I think I believe this more than I believe the other, because it was so out of whack. And you know, sometimes when mental issues present themselves, it happens when they're going through those changes. They're away at school, the hormones are still changing, the brain is not fully developed yet, especially young men. This sounds more believable and plausible than him just running at the cops. So, Dr. Heavenly, you did Damon Jr. a disservice. And another thing, Dr. Heavenly, you said you had not seen him and he moved out because you talked about him like a dog and ridiculed him in the home, and that's when he left. Did you know about this mental issue, or is this something you now making up? So I don't know, y'all. I don't want to go through and try to research and figure out. I want to watch it. I know there's editing. I respect that, production. But Dr. Heavenly, what you're doing is not good. This is a reality show. If you're not going to do that, take it to the house. We're tired of it. We're tired of it. Oh, wait a minute. Let me see something. Toya and Simone did an IG Live. Toya said that Mimi was still mad behind the Florida trip. Oh, okay. Toya was shutting Mimi down in Florida. But Mimi kept trying to shut Toya down. Like, Toya, go over there and let them talk. And Toya was like, no, you can't tell me where to go while they talk. Now, Toya was drunk in the pool, pushing a floaty and holding a drink with the other hand. But yeah, Mimi got mad. And Sandra P., you just made me choke on my coffee when you imitated Jackie. Oh, Jackie gets on my nerves, Cece. You know I have no compassion for Jackie. And these are the reasons, Sandra, she is a bitter old woman. Yes, dear Yvette, but it's choices that she made. She's the one that let that let Curtis do that. And you know what, y'all? It wouldn't shock me if old, long, tall got a 5 or 6 year old running around in the Dominican Republic. Y'all know what I think about his business down there. I think it's called Maria LLC, and I think Jackie is help supporting that other family. This is all alleged, and in my opinion, look at the scroll. But I think that there's something going on in the DR that would, he's already broken Jackie down to the studs, but this would really devastate her. These are choices she made. Choices that she made. That mental health emergency smells like a legal defense strategy. They're full of it. Cece, that is such a good point. Yeah, it could be that. Heavenly, your son is still in jail, allegedly. Linda Gamble, what? Well, that would make sense as to why she hasn't seen him. I think he's still in touch with Damon and with his brother and sister, but I think he doesn't want any of Heavenly right now. I think it's made up. Did you see Mimi's face when she pulled her in it? She did. She said something like, and I went to Mimi and Mimi is my friend. Now, Mimi. Oh, Heavenly's devious, y'all, because if she brings Mimi in, friend or not, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm in Charlotte, and these allergies, they're getting ready to get me. I already took my 24-hour Claritin, but I can feel it coming on. I got to get tea or something because I can't take another one. So if she brings Mimi in, Mimi's limited as to what she could say if she is her doctor or his doctor. And then also, her trying to be on Dr. Heavenly's side so bad, or that team, what she thinks is the right team, I don't think Mimi would out her and say anything. It sounds true. I don't know. Am I being naive? This sounds more true than just him running at the police. I don't know. I think it's made up. Did you see Mimi's face when she pulled her in it? Yeah, dear Yvette. I don't know. I have to think about this some more. Dr. Heavenly, you something else. Cece, yes, Heavenly's son is still in jail for attempts under according to the Bravo sector. Ooh, Linda Gimble, I have to browse the YouTube streets and find out more of what's going on. JJ says maybe the way Heavenly talked to her son caused the mental behavior. JJ, that could be a consideration because Heavenly is vicious with her mouth. And we know that the way that she was raised and some of the things that, that she was put through, that just, it's generational if you don't get it fixed. Heavenly's never mentioned that she's in therapy or anything like that. I could see her being that cruel. She said, I talked to him so bad. Remember when they were at Brandy's dinner and she had that moment with Simone? That's another reason Simone is so hurt. She had that moment. She said he packed his little bags and he left and I ain't seen him since. So, yeah, I have to agree with you, JJ. It could cause some type breakdown. And Toya ended up saying, and at least my husband doesn't think that I'm unsafe to talk to my son. I think that was a dig at Heavenly. Linda Gamble says, it's alleged that Curtis has a family in the DR, allegedly. Linda, it wouldn't shock me because I believe that. Something's going on. So Dr. Heavenly's starting just, all my life I had to fight. I put my kids in private school. I did this, I did that. No less than what you should do, Dr. Heavenly. Y'all are two medical professionals. So they should get the benefit of everything that you have. So I'm not giving you points for that. There's an epidemic going on, not just in my community, in the nation. Andy act like he would vote for her. Andy, we glad you're not in Dr. Heavenly's district. People are not getting mental care. Heavenly, I don't know. It sounds plausible, y'all. It really does. But she was kind of doing a little bit too much with it. So now I really don't know. So Simone is saying very loudly, you don't just wake up during filming season and come up with a storyline. She said, it happened spontaneously. So Dr. Simone, I think this is aimed at Dr. Heavenly. Maybe Simone don't believe it, y'all. So Mimi says something and Simone says, I've been with Cecil longer than you've been with Damon. Oh, that's the part where she says, I got married because I wanted to, not because I was pregnant. I don't know. This was cut kind of funny, y'all, because I don't know why this shows up now. So we get a show of hands who would vote for Heavenly today. The couch on the other side, Toya's side. Only Contessa, she would vote. Contessa, you're just scared of Heavenly. You don't want to have to tell her square up garden too and all this kind of stuff. So she's saying that she would vote for Heavenly. Brandy did not raise her hand. Simone did not raise her hand, and neither did Toya. Everybody else said they would. Toya said, there's enough liars in Congress. Toya, that's a trip. She said, we can't take another one. And she said, we'll just look forward to seeing what happened. Me too. So Andy again shows where Dr. Heavenly had her arm around Simone for the picture. And she said, get your hand off me. I'm not taking no fake a picture or something like that. In that scene, Dr. Contessa was right behind them, as well as Dr. Mimi. So y'all, this is where it comes with the whole Dr. Jackie Simone breakdown. And she says, you're saying that I snapped, but Quad had to be held back that night? Heavenly had to be held back at one point. Y'all remember Heavenly jogging when she had kind of beat Simone? And Simone was so upset and kind of going off and being held back a little bit. Dr. Heavenly was rooting in the air like she was Rocky or somebody. So I think that Heavenly snapped as well. It wasn't just Simone. And that's what Dr. Simone was about. And we see Quad saying Simone is literally all bark, no bite. And we've known it. We've heard it for years. You need earplugs, but she's not going to hit you. She's not going to box you. And neither is Heavenly, honestly. Heavenly's mouth will cut you, but she doesn't fight either. Contessa hasn't connected, but I don't know. If she hadn't been grabbed, I think she might would have caught hold of Heavenly because that was about her deceased mom. So this is why Dr. Simone said, this is why I don't F with Dr. Jackie. And I don't blame her. Heavenly's a dangerous liar. She says, you did push me. You did hit me. And Simone said, why is this girl so freaking And Andy's over there scared. He didn't get a chance to put his earplugs in yet, y'all. This was crazy. And let's see. Simone said Heavenly trapped Damon. Linda Gamble, she has bragged to us that she trapped Damon. And Damon had another girlfriend at the time. The Heavenly laid it low and spread it wide. And Dr. Damon was acting like, oh, buddy. And he ended up marrying her. He said, I paced and paced before the wedding. And God told me, go down there, Damon. And so he ended up, I don't know if he was late or what, but he said he asked God and God didn't answer him for hours and hours. Watch that Jamaica couples trip. Damon said it. And I know when Heavenly see that, she had a fit. So Andy wants to know, was Simone a physical threat? Jackie has always said, no, she was not a physical threat. And then he says, why didn't you just say that? Jackie's like, shrugging. This is where I can't with Jackie. And we saw that on Watch What Happens Live. She said, I didn't see it. And then Andy said, but you saw the footage. And Jackie's just like, I can't take that. If something can clear you and your friend of 30 years won't do it, Heavenly sitting there stuffed in that dress, looking crazy, like let me not even say it, overstuffed Jessica Rabbit. Now, remember when Dr. Jackie said, when I put my clothes on, I don't look like a busted can of biscuits. Now you sitting next to the very definition of a busted can of biscuits, and you won't defend your friend of 30 years? This is why I can't with Dr. Jackie. So we saw the footage again where Dr. Heavenly did touch her. Heavenly saying she didn't touch her. She had an arm on her shoulder. Simone wiped it off, but nobody hit anybody. And Dr. Mimi, you're a disgrace. You were there at the scene, and you still haven't checked Heavenly after the fact. So Dr. Jackie has disappointed her friend, Dr. Simone, again. So Jackie says, for 30 years, I always felt that the friendship was about safety for me and safety for her. And I want you to know what I feel about you. I feel I let you down. I betrayed you, and I want to fix it. Here go Jackie. Y'all, I don't believe Jackie's emotions. I don't think she has any. Jackie's an ice queen. I wrote down, don't trust her, Simone. Simone is heartbroken, y'all. Simone's foundation is coming down her face. She said, you came to me that night at Angel's event. You were the person most in the group that can get me back down to earth when I'm angry. Heavenly's over there. Me too. Me too. Shut up, Heavenly. You have not known Jackie as long as Jackie has known Simone. They used to study together. I'm really disgusted with Heavenly and what she's done. Let your friends talk. And if Heavenly's a true friend to Jackie, she would not want her to lose Dr. Simone as a friend. Y'all, this was kind of heartbreaking. So Simone says, I stay clocked in. She said, if I have a conversation about who snapped, and Simone starts talking about something else. She goes off the deep end. She really did. Jackie was still saying in Florida that I snapped, and I wasn't the only one to snap. Simone's right. Simone, you snapped, but Quad also snapped. Remember, Quad jogged up, and Angel had her hand on Quad. Heavenly was jogging, and whatever she was doing, Damon had to pull her aside. So Simone's still upset. You're talking to me about the fact I snapped off, and you wouldn't say that to anybody else. So it's true. This is true. Jackie's trying to influence Simone one last time. She goes over to the other side of the couch and sits next to Simone. Contestant said, do you want me to move and go sit where you were? Y'all, there was no need. Jackie perched right into that little space between them, and it wasn't even tight. So the cameras are looking at the two of these friends, these long-term friends. Simone's foundation is cried off. Andy's leaning in. Everybody's watching. And she says, Simone said to her, you know, if I were to hit or I were to push, what could happen with malpractice, with hospital privileges? Jackie's making a cry face. I know. And she said, but I wasn't there. And she said, but you saw the footage. Why couldn't you just say that? Jackie is silent. She went back to her seat. And then Simone says, we are never getting back together. Can't do it. Don't want it. And Andy and everybody, y'all, is looking sad. And Simone is just giving her same answer. And that was it, y'all. That was it for that episode. Or maybe I just became so engaged I stopped taking notes. But that was pretty much the end of the episode. If I missed anything, we'll do it on part 2. I'm so glad they're only doing 2 because they have to put all the relevant information in. Andy can't start crying, I want to move on. He's got to cover it. But y'all, this is kind of heartbreaking. This scene with Dr. Jackie and Dr. Simone, a 30-year friendship. They studied together. Remember the last time they broke up, I felt like the show almost didn't survive. And I think we're going through that again. I hate this. This is terrible. Okay, we'll go back through so I can finish the comments and then we'll wrap up part 1 of this reunion. I'm going to grade it now so I don't forget. Since the men weren't there, the men were there, but not on the stage yet. I'm not going to give them full score. I'll give them a 9. I will give them a 9. I was engaged at every part, except for Quad doing her little fake Tubi crying about Kay. Linda says God was telling Damon not to marry Heavenly. Linda, he might have been telling him, but he didn't listen. And they've had a successful marriage. I'll say that. I like all of their children. I pray for Damon Jr. to not remain in jail or not to get time. If this is a mental health scam or scheme that Heavenly set up, I hope it works. I really do. Contessa was right there. Key1 JTV, she was. And Mimi was walking by and then she kind of ducked like she didn't want to be in the frame so she could have plausible deniability. I find that really disgraceful. Both of them. They won't stand on business with Heavenly. They're scared. Jackie was wrong. In addition to being a bad friend, she knew the professional ramifications. Simone could have suffered if Elaine's charges landed. Cece, that's the thing that bothered me. And with Heavenly being able to lie that night, like, she hit me, she pushed me. Okay, that's fine. She let it linger the next day. Allegedly, she went to production and she started using terms like, I don't feel safe, and she's unhinged, and all this kind of stuff that they say about us when usually it's just passion or talking loud. Quad said, Simone won't bust a grape in a fruit fight. And we know that that's the case. Heavenly was so scared to be around her, so they went to Florida without her. Who shows up? Heavenly. At the behest of Quad. They down here talk about you. No, they were not really talking about her. She's just saying, Heavenly lied. I didn't touch her. I moved her arm off me. Where Heavenly saying, I never touched her. You had to touch her to have your arm on her. So we're going to stop letting her tell that lie. And I'm with Cece. I do think Jackie was wrong. Next Sunday is going to get worse. I think so, Linda Gamble. I don't think anybody will be able to hide. And it is going to be, it's going to be a 10. I'll tell you that. And then the men, Steve is going to be dressed like a birthday cake. And he's ready to rumble. And Eugene's not a punk no more. He's not a punk. He don't want to hear it. JJ, Jackie emotion is stale. It is. It's not real. It's like she's trying to impersonate. When I've seen somebody sad, what did he do? And she's like, I'm sad. It's because it's not real to me. Dear Yvette says, Heavenly loves that she broke up their relationship. I think she does too. That's a snake that's like that, y'all. That is terrible. Cryly Christmas, Simone is truly heartbroken and Jackie knows exactly what she did. I would have definitely put a pause on our friendship because the trust will never be there again. Cryly Christmas, welcome in. Thank you. I appreciate you coming down to leave a comment. Thank you so much. I wouldn't trust her as a friend either. And Jackie, I think Jackie doesn't want to lose Simone's friendship, but she still feels like she can kind of convince Simone to stay with her as a friend. I think she thinks she can convince her. Simone's saying, no, this is it. And then Simone making that statement to Andy backstage, like, you saved me from divorce once. It's like, yeah, that's her husband. That's different. I don't think she's going to keep Jackie as a friend. Cece says 17 likes, 20 watching. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Bush campers, please like the video. That's those of you that are working, you're working out, you're walking, you're in the grocery store, but you're listening. Take time to go in and click that like button for me, please. Thank you. Please and thanks. Thank you. Key1 JTV. This is another content creator. If you came in late, everybody, please make sure you're over there. She also has scripted shows as well. Jackie and Simone can go along with Heavenly. Yeah, they can go. They can go. I'm actually tired of it. But this scene made me a little bit, not Jackie sad, really sad. I was kind of upset with it. I only restarted watching because you and a few of my fave CCs reviewed the show. I clocked out after they pushed Mariah out. I don't like the Married to Medicine ladies. Yeah, CC, there's really a nastiness that they don't need to do because they're not boring. I'll watch them. And if you have adults living their lives, you're going to get into a little bit of friction. You don't have to be nasty like Heavenly. And she's nasty. That's why I'm ready for her to go. And Quad, who's bringing nothing. Thank you so, sister. Great review, Sandra. Keep up the good work. Thank you so much. Andre Shannon, thank you for dropping down, leaving a comment. I appreciate it. Dr. Simone, let go of the grudge. Andre Shannon, I don't know. We don't agree with you on that, most of us. I don't think it's a grudge. I think Jackie's betrayed her more than once. Remember, a few years ago, they went through the same thing with Dr. Heavenly. But Andre says, let it go. He told her to act like she's Elsa and let it go. I don't know. I think Simone has to protect her peace. And at this point, Heavenly is not peaceful, neither is Jackie. Linda Gamble gives it a 9.5. Oh, that is great. Yeah, they got an A+. CC speaks to Andre Shannon. I'll give the episode a 7. Your review a 10. Thank you so much, CC. I appreciate that. Everyone's speaking to Criley. And David, Steve, not cute to me. He looks like he's related to Leno. Yeah, he got that chin. He's circling around heaven and got an extra set of chins. Steve is nice looking enough, but if you like that type, he stay dressed, I tell you that. Replay gang, hit the like button, drop a comment, and let's hype this video up. Be blessed, everyone. I want to make sure I read all of the rest of the comments. I'm sorry, y'all. 1 second. I have to turn this camera off and really wipe my nose. Excuse. Okay, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm in a place with terrible allergies, and it's really getting to me. Dear Yvette, I agree. Not a fan of Steve. That's Mama B's. Oh, let me read Kimon J's unpopular opinion. And everyone, if you're new here, we do welcome different opinions, so we don't drag anybody for different opinions. Polite contrarians are welcome. But we're pretty friendly and nice over here. I mean, we'll drag from time to time, but it's all in good fun. Unpopular opinion. But Simone is a snake as well. And although Jackie is a terrible person, I fully believe Jackie thinks Simone is insufferable. Kiwan J, that is true because when you brought that up, that brings up Mariah. Mariah Huck, when she was on her YouTube channel, and she tells the behind the scenes about when they conspired to steal her show from her, even though she's still getting paid. She said Simone came to her and said, they told me to be the one to tell you. So Simone was the Judas. So it looks like Judas has a Judas. So, okay, now, Andre, that's making sense. When you tell Simone, let go of the grudge, I'll have to think about this some more now. Because, Simone, you've done your dirt, too. Mama Bees agrees. She's also not a fan of Steve. Cynthia Christian, thank you so much for coming in during the live review of part 1 of Married to Medicine Reunion. Thank you. I appreciate it. Steve seems thirsty. Yes, Dr. Mimi says she doesn't want to be thirsty and dusty. And her husband's probably the thirstiest one out of all of them, including all of the women. And then projecting onto Eugene. Do you want to be one of the women? Eugene's not sitting up and sassy and arguing like you are, Steve. JJ, y'all remember when Simone and Heavenly argued over Jackie? Jackie was thrilled. She was. JJ, she was there like, yeah, they fighting over me. She was so glad. Jackie seems like the type that she's never really been liked, even as whatever age. Go back to even elementary school. She's not really liked, but she's the smartest one. Whoever has the answer, raise your hand. Here's little Dr. Jackie. Me, 10. And the other kids are like, Jackie thinks she's so smart. That's right. I know y'all don't like me, but I'm the smartest one. I can see that in Jackie because she was happy to have Simone and Heavenly fighting over her. And they couldn't really be a trio of friends because Heavenly doesn't really like Simone and Simone doesn't really like Heavenly. But now Heavenly's able to work. She shows up to work. Even that last scene at the Med Gala, and she was like, if you dance with my husband, I can dance with your husband. I'd have been like, I am not dancing with Damon and you ain't dancing with Cecil. Because between Dr. Damon and Cecil, I don't know. Simone feel like she got the better end of the deal with Cecil. even though she got to take care of him. But Damon, to me, is insufferable. He gets on my nerves. He never really stands on business. He lets Heavenly run wild. And I don't know what he says to her in their house, but doesn't look like it had any impact to me. Okay, we read that one. Yes, Miss Sandra, amazing review. Thank you so much, Kiwan JTV. I appreciate that. Thank you. I want to make sure I see every comment and then also properly say goodbye and end the review. Sorry, I didn't see it yet, but I did enjoy your review. It's well worth watching, JJ. You heard the high scores they got. Cece gave it a 7, but she can't stir them. And then she gave my review a 10, and Linda gave them a 9.5. So yeah, it's an A. Jackie throw rocks and hides her hand. Yes, she does. And you can tell she's been like that ever since she was a child. And Jackie's boring. She is boring. But you know what that is, Cynthia? She doesn't want to show her real life. Honestly, the most interesting part of Jackie was when her and Curtis were going through and she made him move downstairs and he was trying to woo her back. You could see a little bit of, it wasn't really emotion. It was, he had humiliated her and she was trying to show that she would stand on business. So I'll give Jackie that. But for the most part, she is boring. Jackie was happy that the ladies were fighting over her because Curtis never fought for her. Exactly, Kiwan JTV. He down there in the Dominican Republic fighting over Maria LLC. We know that's his business. But everybody, we made it to the end of this Married to Medicine review part 1. It's well worth watching for those of you that have not yet. Even though you sat through the review with me, thank you so much. I'll see you in the YouTube streets. It's probably going to be an extra because there's a bunch of Bravo news, Peacock news, and then I might just have some general political discourse. Nothing too dark, but just some extra stuff that we could get together and talk about. Jackie's still mad at Simone for telling her that Jackie was wrong for telling Buffy business. Ugo Chair, thank you so much for bringing that up. Let me make sure I'm saying your name right. GC Chair. I think that is what happened. Yeah, I had isolated that, and I wish I still had that in here. Let me see if I do. If I do, I'll show that to y'all. Yeah, Buffy, what Buffy went through with Jackie, and that's a big part of why they would never bring her back. Because, I don't know, Buffy might have had some kind of HIPAA lawsuit against Jackie. But then again, Jackie was never Buffy's doctor. That was the craziest thing. Dr. Simone, she put Dr. Simone in jeopardy over that too. So she was not even her doctor. Okay, I found 2 things in here that I can share. And y'all, once I get better with organizing my stuff, I'm going to be a mess over here. Okay, let me see. And thank you for your patience. I appreciate it. I appreciate you working with a growing channel. Production never shows up to work. They stay busy. Oh, I know what I did with it. I had Jackie and Buffy. When Jackie did that to Buffy, it's relatively short. It's relatively short. Okay, here we are. And this actually was the only event that was going on. Dr. Jackie was doing a book signing. So there was no need for her to do what she did. None. Let me see if this will show that. All right.
14 years ago, I got breast cancer. 6 months of chemo and 8 weeks of radiation to find out the thing that we grow up, most of us wanting to do, you can't do. And Buffy, you can relate. You're imperfect. For real? You just told all these people that she imperfect. Did they just have a conversation and Jackie, she gave you the okay to tell the whole damn world? Oh my God. So I encourage every woman in here to take your pain, you know it, and make it your perfect. I had really surface level discussions with Jackie about my challenges with fertility. So let's party, eat, drink, and have fun. Thank you. It's real deep. Because I just don't understand why she thinks that it's okay for her to tell my business to a group of strangers. Oh, where's the rest? Did you hear her say Buffy was in love? Did people know that I didn't? Did you hear her say that? Is Buffy okay with that? That was Now she's spreading Buffy's truth. And that's Buffy's story to tell, not Jackie's. Buffy, she had given her permission to say that? You have tears in your eyes, right? Yeah. Oh, baby. I want to do that. He's like, we spent like $200,000 trying to get pregnant. It didn't work. Maybe it's not for us. That was just a one minute. That's what I tried to tell you.
Yeah, that's the Dr. Jackie that we know. Dr. Jackie's been on that book for a long time. That was disgraceful. That was her book signing. And called Buffy out from the stage by name. She could have said, there are people here there and they might be infertile. Or use herself. Use you, Jackie. You were infertile too. Buffy, you could have yelled from the audience, yeah, you and me both. And neither one of us have a baby. Disgusting. Really terrible. Have a great day, everyone. I'm going to end with that, Cece. Speaking on Buffy, her house was $1 million under appraised until she and her husband showed the house and took down all black pictures. The appraisal went up $1 million. She should have a lawsuit against that appraiser. They've been caught doing that before, Cece. Y'all, that was Buffy's husband is a therapist. He's a doctor. He was the one with that the mustache, those long circle mustache. Quad with the blonde hair. And then you hear Quad telling her, did you ever try a surrogate? Did you, Quad? Or maybe the surrogate storyline didn't fit in as well, because now that's not something you want to encourage people to do because of Shamia and what she's going through over there. And her sweet little angel, Shiloh. Everybody using the same surrogate like it's a designer surrogate or something. But let's not get into that. We're going to end this where Cece was. I just wanted to show you Dr. Jackie been nasty for a long time and still. So if we can maybe have her be friend of, or she could go all together. But thank those of you that joined me for the entire review. Those of you that joined late. If your team replay, thank you. I appreciate you. And all of you, click the like button if you have not on the way in. Do it on the way out. And then I think it takes a couple of hours for the hype to come up. So team replay, you would actually look for that, and I appreciate it. Quad had the puppies. Corey and Kari, yeah, they had a puppy line. Now we don't hear nothing about it. Thank you so much, GT Chair. I appreciate it. Bye, everybody. Have a great day. Enjoy the rest of your Monday. And I will see you in the YouTube streets. Thank you.
I don't think that he's good for you.
How do you know what's good for me?
That's my opinion!
Don't you get it? Why can't anybody have an opinion but you?
That I don't think that he's good. That I